Hey everyone, welcome to How We Are Making Our First Million, a financial literacy program focused on sharing the motivations, methodologies, and mindsets of people who are in the process of making their first million. On this episode, our guest is Hannah, a 22-year-old professional NFL cheerleader who lives in Fairfax, Virginia. Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to dive in.
Yes. And as we were talking before the show, comparisons can be very unhealthy if the intention is to judge ourselves or to judge others. But comparisons with the intention of inspiration and motivation and insights can be a very healthy thing. And so as we dive into your life situation, I'm really excited because I know that there are going to be people that are going to relate to different aspects of your life and hopefully draw out some inspiration and insights, So really excited. So we're going to dive in. Basically, on this episode, we're going to dive into your life journey and we're going to develop a game plan for your financial freedom as well as your personal fulfillment. So the first question is this. I want to talk to you about. First topic is this. What would you say is your dream career? And when I say dream career, I mean, what's at the intersection of what you love to do, what you're good at doing, what people would pay you to do, and what truly fulfills you?
So I don't know that I would say that I've had a dream career because I don't believe that we were put on this earth to work, but it is a necessary, reality that you have to work. And so finding what fuels my soul, that's been a big thing for me the last year, is finding a job that makes me feel good about what I'm doing and also, provides for what I need, is kind of what I'm on the journey of figuring out. I am currently living my dream as an NFL cheerleader, but that's a part-time job and it's not a sustainable income to achieve the goals that I have. And it also just doesn't fulfill everything that I want in my life and my career. So I majored in environmental and sustainability studies, and I'm very passionate about climate change, living more sustainably, trying to fix this planet that we have destroyed. And it's a very long journey ahead. But outside or within that, I'm still not sure where I am in that and what specific role that I want to have in that and what job I want to do. Growing up, I've kind of been a jack of all trades. I was good at math. I was good at reading. I am very good at problem solving. I had a writing tutor, so my writing is very strong now. So I really could go anywhere. I just don't know where it is that I want to be yet. I did marketing for a small business most of last year and earlier this year. But that wasn't where I wanted to be. It kind of, it didn't pay me what I was looking for either. I didn't feel valued financially, and it didn't feed my soul because I felt like I was doing the opposite of what I wanted to do. I don't want to sell people more things. I don't want people to continue buying things and over consuming. I want the opposite. I want people to move towards a more sustainable life, not buying more things. So I quit my job. I am doing marketing, but more like content for a sustainable fashion brand right now. And I really enjoy that. And I'm also substitute teaching on top of that because that is part-time. So I have a lot of part-time things going on. But long-term, I'd really love to find where I am in that world of sustainability, conservation, and where my skills and talents would be best used, and I'm not really bored.
Very good. But also, too, you have a side job working with Clay Smile Entertainment, yes. Right? Doing as a party motivator for the mitzvahs. How's that going?
I love it. It's super fun. It's really nice to have that opportunity to bring joy and enhance other people's special events, because I know how much people look forward to those things. Like those are really important days in their lives. And I'm really happy that I can be a part of it and make it even better than it would be if we weren't there.
Awesome, awesome. So let's dig deep into that, right? So you're in the process. You're 22 years old, and you're in the process of discovering what, as you said, fuels your soul, feeds your soul. I love that. I love that. And so I heard once that it's really at the intersection of what you love to do, what you're good at, what people will pay you to do, and what truly fulfills you. So let's walk through, because you mentioned several things. So like several things that you're good at. Let's start with that. The things that you're good at. You mentioned that you're good at math and reading, problem solving, and writing, right? Yeah, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. And then in terms of like what you love to do, now was science obviously has been a passion of yours throughout your life, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
More so environmental science, not so much. I mean, like biology a little bit, but like not chemistry and not that medical stuff, anatomy, not my thing. More earth-centric science, definitely.
I see. I see. Okay, so the science, and then also dancing has been a passion of yours, right, throughout your life, right? Okay, I
Yes.
see.
Yes.
I see.
I one day I would like to coach. That's obviously just another small stream of part-time income. They're not generally paid very well, but I want to continue performing as long as my body will let me.
Yes.
Once I get old, then I'll coach.
And when you say coaching, I mean, does that also even include like choreography, like doing dance choreography and stuff?
Yes, I love choreographing. I don't do it very often, but I really I love choreographing for like dance teams, studio, like complex technical pieces. I really love. I'll just listen to music and envision what a routine would look like, and then, yeah. So I love that kind of stuff. Definitely would like to do that.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. Wow. And as you mentioned, I mean, there's so many different options that you have. And so I guess it really is about trying to figure out what option feels the best for you. And it sounds like you've been tasting a lot of different things, right? Like you said, you worked for that marketing, you worked in that marketing position, and, you're doing some substitute teaching and everything, right? So would you say that like, what you're doing, you're kind of tasting different things to kind of see what really fits?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I've always heard, your 20s are when you figure out what you want to do. You don't have to stay in the same place. You don't have to stay in the same industry. You don't have to do the same thing if it's not what you want to do. Now's the time to figure it out. Now's the time to make mistakes. And then that's when you figure out exactly what you want to do, and then you stay once you found your niche, your spot.
Yes. So the question then is, what would be your ideal life 20 years from now? So you're 22 right now, right? So 20 years from now, you'll be exactly my age, 42. And so what would be your ideal life at the age of 42? Now, obviously, you will, you envision yourself, working in your dream career, right? But like, what does that kind of look like in terms of even in terms of your personal life, like in terms of family, like do you envision, being married and having kids, and how many kids, and like, do you envision like, kind of where you see yourself living? Talk to us about what's your ideal vision at 42.
I don't like to think about being 42, but I would say I would like to be married. I would love to have my own home. I definitely think those are both very achievable. I would love to have a dog, maybe two, maybe three. I don't know about kids yet. As an individual, I would love to have them, but also as a responsible citizen and parent, I don't know that I would do that. I'm worried about bringing a child into a planet that is dying. And I know that's like a very extreme thing to think about, but, and I'm not ready to have one in the next 5 years. So I will have a better picture of what our planet's going to look like in 5 years, and what other people in corporations, the government, are doing to, combat our problem. So I would individually like to have children, but I don't know that I would do that. So that's kind of like a question mark. Um, and just like flexibility. I think flexibility is a huge thing, not just like for me, but for like my generation and like millennials. We're all looking for something more flexible. We don't want to spend our entire lives sitting in an office. And we can be a lot more productive when we're more flexible, and enjoy life, because we, again, like I said, we're not put on this earth to work. I want to travel. I want to see the world. There's so much more outside of Fairfax, Virginia. There's so much more outside of the United States. I want to be able to see the whole world. Maybe not the whole world, but I want to see different places, different cultures, and experience that. So having the flexibility to do that financially, with work, with family, like all of those kinds of things those are all really important to me.
Yes, that's awesome. And so obviously the key would be to find that passion so that your work is your play, right? So that you're
Right.
not really working, but you're actually just doing what sets your soul on fire, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's the whole thing, how like, are you working? Are you working to live, or are you living to work, right? Such
Right.
a different mindset. And so obviously you want to be in a position where you are living to work, where you're jumping out of bed each morning, excited to go to work, which you don't really view as work, but you view it as like your mission, your purpose in life. That's
Yes.
awesome. That is awesome. And it's interesting. So one of like my passions in life, right, is to help people become financially free, right? Like I want to inspire people and give them, encouragement and also like insights and everything. I'm a CPA, and as well as a mortgage loan officer, and so I know a lot about finances and the home buying process and real estate investing and everything, and even the stock market and stuff. And so I want to help people to develop a game plan for achieving those things. And what's interesting is that with you and with all the other dancers on the team, like, I realized that I'm like 20 years older than you guys, and my vision is that 20 years from now, you guys will be financially free. And when I say financially free, what I mean is in a position where your passive income, the amount of passive income that you generate, is greater than your cost of living. And so when you're at that position, where your passive income is greater than your cost of living, then therefore you don't have to work. It's like you work because you really want to work, and
Right.
everything, right? And so it all starts with a plan. It all starts with kind of having a solid game plan in place. So I want to talk about, so you understand the concept of active income versus passive income, right? So
Oh
active
yeah.
income, right? Okay, so you
Yes.
understand that.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Active income is when you're trading time for money, right? And then passive income, I know you probably can't really see this, but the passive income is when you are, and I love this definition of passive income, investing time into building systems that make you money and require either none of your time or only a small amount of your time. I love that. I love that. Building systems. And so, of course, there's different types of passive income, right? I mean, one thing is, business ownership that does not depend on your presence, right? So like if you wrote a book, right? Like if you had like intellectual property, or if you had a business where you're scaling it, where you're hiring other people to do services, right? And you are managing that. And of course, with the stock market, right? Mutual funds and everything, which is a really big thing in terms of like retirement, like a Roth IRA, which can
I
grow.
have one of those.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
And then, and then with like real estate and everything, I mean, there's rental properties and stuff like that, right? So, and then of course, like intellectual property, we talked about books, and also like online courses and stuff like that, right? So let me know this: what business ideas, what ideas of passive income do you have? Now, you mentioned one of them. You said a Roth IRA, right? So when did you start investing into a Roth IRA?
So I started my Roth IRA towards the end of last year. I would say I probably had it for about a year. So I wasn't able to max it out last year. I am well on track to max it out this year. But that's my Roth IRA, but I've been investing in mutual funds and the stock market since 2018. I was in accounting class and we were talking about like investments and stuff. And I was like, I should probably do that. So that's what I did. I started investing because I had been just saving money in my normal savings account and making like $2 a month, which is not really passive income.
That's right. That's right. So with your investments, right? So you have a Roth IRA, which is like, for retirement, but also you have like regular mutual funds, is what I'm hearing too.
Yes,
Okay,
it's just a normal like
right.
investing account, no tax advantages or anything like that.
Right. That's good. That's good because that way, like if you want to, cash it in for like a car or for a down payment on a home, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no penalties, right? That's
Right.
good to have both at work, the Roth as well as the regular. That's good. So that is awesome. And so with that now, when in terms of investing, right? How do you invest more into it? Is it like some people automate the investment where it's like every month is a certain amount that gets invested, or do you manually invest more?
I do it manually. Right now, since I have so many different part-time jobs and all of them are hourly, it's like I don't know like what the consistent amount is going to be coming in.
Right.
I am living at home, so I have very low expenses. I did just buy a new car though, so I do have a car payment. I just don't know how much I'm going to spend on like my credit card each month. So I usually, when I feel like my savings account is getting a little high, I will put a big chunk of change in there and then buy something pretty immediately. So I've been focusing more on my Roth this year just to get that filled out.
Yes. That's awesome. That's amazing. So, yes. Now, in terms of you bought the car, you got the car, but have you calculated like how long it's going to take before you pay off the car?
Sort of, not really.
Okay.
I have been very blessed to have parents who help me out very generously financially. I don't have student loans.
Okay.
And my parents like to make everything fair, not equal, but fair. So my parents covered the down payment on the car. It was a pretty hefty one. But I was in charge of the other half. And we went for the 6-year because I got the best APR and it was going to stay the same for the 6 years. But I am paying more than the minimum balance while I can, so that I can pay it off earlier and not have to pay as much interest. But I also know that if I just flat out paid it, I would be missing out on a lot of interest that I could be making in the stock market. That's a higher percentage of growth than I would be paying in interest on the car loan.
Absolutely. And now here's a big thing, right? So when you're paying your car note, right? You make sure that you're paying on time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because what we're going to talk about in a little bit is about, when buying a home, right? Your credit score. Your credit score is very significant. And one of the biggest things that impacts your credit score is your payment history, like being able to pay your bills on time. So that's great that you're paying your bills on time. That's excellent. And also another thing, so one of the big things that impacts your credit score is the payment history, but also the second biggest thing that impacts your credit score. And by the way, when I say credit score, I mean the FICO score, right? Where the most popular credit score that they use regarding mortgages. The second biggest thing is your credit utilization, right? So if your credit card, how many credit cards do you have? Just one. Okay, good. Just one credit card. Good. Now, here's the thing. If possible, all right, an aim to target would be to try to keep your credit card utilization to be under 30%. So meaning of your available credit, if you could just consistently use only a small portion of that, that really helps to boost your credit score,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm only using about 15 at maximum. It's hit 15. I've never gone above that. And I make payments around every 2 weeks just to keep it
Right. Keep it
low and not
keep it low.
overwhelming. I don't want to pay any interest.
Yes, very good, very good, very good. That's awesome. That's awesome. And another thing too is every once in a while, you should ask the credit card company to increase your credit limit, right? Because with a higher credit limit, then that means that your credit utilization will the percentage will actually go down if you stay consistent with where you are
Right.
right?
I'm actually I'm overdue on asking. I'm
Ah.
gonna write that down.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it sounds like you have asked before.
No, I haven't. So when I got my full-time job in January after graduating in December, I finally knew how much money I was going to be making, and so I applied for a credit card. And they just off the bat gave me, I think, like a $8,000 limit. So I haven't asked since January. So it's been 10 months and I've never been late. So I should probably be okay.
Perfect. Yes, ask, yes. That's awesome. Yes. Because that's great. Because then that way your credit utilization will go down and you're continuing to pay on time. And so it's like, so what I'm getting at here, Hannah, is that even though you're 22, to start thinking about that future home that you'll purchase,
Yeah.
Now, had you been thinking at all about a home?
So I've kind of been back and forth on like what my priorities are. I am interested in getting into real estate investment. But I am also looking at moving to a different area. And so I don't want to get like a bunch of properties in one place and then kind of be tied down to being a landlord. And I don't know if the new place that I move is going to be where I want to be long term. So I don't want to get stuck there. But at the same time, it's like, I would love to get like a small townhouse. It doesn't even have to be a small town. I'd rather live in a townhouse with a roommate and house hack and live for very, very low rent or mortgage payment than pay $2,000, $2,500 in rent and add to somebody else's wealth, not mine.
Yes, absolutely. It's interesting. A lot of your peers, for various reasons, will get into an apartment, right, and paying rents, right? And it's great that you have a situation where you could be at home, but yeah, the house hacking deal is so key, right? Yeah, if you can live for free, or at least to have your mortgage to be significantly offset by the rent that you get in, by doing the house hack. That really pays a lot. That's awesome. So let's talk about preparing for a house, like your home preparation plan, right? So number one is, there's like three things, right? Number one, down payment, right? When you buy a home, it's great if you have a good down payment, right? Also your credit score, right? And you're staying on top of that. And then also your income, right? Your income. And you're in the process of like, tasting, different things and what you want to do. So that's awesome. So in terms of, let's back up a little bit in terms of like the income. So right now you have the side business, right? Because you're an independent contractor when you work as a party motivator at mitzvah parties, right? You're an independent contractor. So that's a side business, right? What were some of the other, you said you do also some substitute teaching, right?
Yes, I just started that last week to kind of fill my time more and make sure that I'm making money on my time. So I'm doing that now. That's around 15 an hour. And then I have my part-time writing internship that I've been doing. And that's very inconsistent in the amount of hours that I do, just based on what they're asking for. I don't get asked a lot recently because I did so much work in the beginning. And then for Washington football team, that is also, that's probably my main income right now, just because we're right in the season and game days pay better than practices. And but that's seasonal. So when that goes away, I have to start filling my time doing something else.
Yes. So yes, that's awesome. So with that, and I'm just thinking out loud, right? Is there a way in which you could take some of those activities and package it in a way so that it becomes like a passive income stream? Now I know, of course, we talked about the stock market thing, right? And you're doing that. But I was thinking about, and it might be like a long-term plan or something in the future. But in addition to the stock market, what would be like a way, do you think, that you could create passive income through like a business?
Um, Unrelated. I had a teammate last year who wrote a children's book, and I thought that was really cool. And I think that would be a fun thing to do. I actually also have a website, like a personal blog website. I haven't been very active on it, but I was kind of hoping that I could turn that into an income stream.
Hmm.
I kind of let it get away from me. So that's something that I could pursue more actively. But I was thinking like it's a blog where I write about like it's everything, mental health, environmental, sustainability, dance, whatever I'm feeling, just kind of all about me and what I can, what insight I can give on the things that I've experienced. I haven't pushed it very hard on social media, or even really done much with it since August, I think, maybe September. But through like eventually I could do affiliate links, influencer marketing, those kinds of things. If I worked hard enough to get it big, that's definitely a way that I could make money. It's an idea. I don't know necessarily that I want to pursue it that hard. I think there are other things that I could do that might be a little bit, not necessarily easier, but more effective. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that. I was really, really excited about it a couple months ago. I've kind of let it fall apart, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. But I guess I just got kind of stuck.
Yeah. So the blog, and was it inspired by like just like some experiences, some issues that were going through in your life, and you kind of like it was a situation where you're like writing is like therapeutic for you, and it's
Yes.
like yeah,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. So I would, when I started it about 3 months before I quit my full-time job. And it just kind of was a place for me to distract myself. Sometimes I would work on it during work, um, just as like a way to get my thoughts and feelings out about different things. But it never really picked up speed, and I think part of that is my fault. Um, I still think it could be a viable option.
yeah,
I just would need to put the time and effort into it and not be so like I was really, really, excited and ready to put myself out there and like really push it. And then I kind of got in my head and sort of started overthinking things and was like, well, what are people going to think about this? Oh, she's trying too hard, that kind of stuff. And I kind of let it get to me. And I think a lot of that was just me personally. Like no one ever said anything to me. Like it was all just myself. But yeah, it was something that was therapeutic to me and came from like how I think I maybe have like 5 posts. Like I didn't do a whole lot on it. But each of the posts came from something that was like currently happening in my life and things that were currently going through my mind. I would like to turn it into a YouTube too. It's just like, actually putting that effort and time into it. It kind of fell apart when the season started and I got busy with practices and things like that. So maybe in the off season again, I will.
Yes, that's awesome. And the good thing about it too, it's so like real and authentic. It's like this is when you're it's like you're speaking to yourself. It's like it's therapeutic for you. And I've always realized that like if it moves you, it's going to move someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's
Yeah.
something that you're writing and it inspires you, there's definitely an audience for it. And actually, I remember kind of scanning through your social media, and I remember coming upon your blog, and the one article that really stood out to me and really touched me deeply was the one that you wrote about anxiety. That was really deep. Very,
Thank
very,
you.
and I'm just thinking about how, you know, this is something that definitely, you know, is something that other people will really resonate with, you know? And I'm even thinking like, have you ever thought about, or what do you think about doing public speaking, like kind of like, you know, motivational speaking on the topic of mental health?
Um, I get nervous talking in front of people. I don't mind, like, this is fine for me because there's not someone like actively listening right now as we do it. So I could probably do like videos,
Okay.
but which is crazy because I dance in front of tens of thousands of people every other Sunday. But something about even talking in front of 30 people, it gets my heart racing and I start sweating. So
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. No, that's what. So yeah, I mean, pre-recorded videos, right, or something, you know. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so, you know, with that anxiety issue, and you know, it's awesome too. It's amazing how like I just find it such to be an amazing thing how God can help us take our adversity and use it as our advantage to comfort and inspire others who are going through similar things, you know. And so obviously, you know, anxiety, it's a challenge, but at the same time, it's like when you wrote that article, it's like you were using that challenge as your advantage to be a blessing in other people's lives, you know?
yeah.
And so just thinking about how that's such an amazing thing. So with that anxiety issue, how big of an issue was it or is it in your life? Like, is it an ongoing like issue?
Um, yes and no. You know, some days are better than others, but like, you know, somebody texting like, "Hey, we need to talk tomorrow," will like scare the living daylights out of me because my brain will start going into all the worst possible, you know, options, which is not healthy. And I've had the same therapist like 8 years. I think about 8 years now, and we've been working on it. And so I have to catch myself and be like, "That's not actually true. You don't know that that's what that's about, and it's probably not about that." I have a lot of social anxiety. I overthink about friendships. I overthink about things that I've said, but it's not crippling to the like. I can catch myself and I can realize that that's anxiety. That's not the truth, and that's not how you should like. That shouldn't make you like ruin your day and like stress you out, make you cry, those kinds of things. So I've like had to train myself, but it doesn't affect me the way that it used to. But it still it tries.
Yeah, see, I totally relate to the whole social anxiety thing because, you know, that's one of the things that has fueled my public speaking activities is because, you know, it's been an ongoing thing, the social anxiety. And I mean, I even have some people that think, some friends think that I have a form of Asperger's, right? Where it's like I tend to overlook certain cues in social events. And it's interesting is like it's interesting. I'm like the opposite in a way where it's like I feel very comfortable talking in front of a large group of people because I have a script and everything. It's more like a performance. But when it's like a small group of people, and I guess it's kind of similar to you, when it's a small group and there's no script and it's not a performance, that can I can struggle with anxiety in those types of experiences, you know, because like you said, you tend to overthink things and assume things about what other people are thinking and all that kind of stuff, and just tie yourself in knots, right? Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's deep. That's deep. So, um, so yeah, that's an amazing thing about how we can, you know, we can take our adversity and use it as our advantage, you know, to inspire others, you know, and amazing. And then, you know, one of the things that, you know, I've seen in my life is that how like when we're trying to reach out to try to help others, it's like, it's like we rise by lifting others, it's like as we're trying to pour into other people's lives, our cups stay full and everything. And so being able to take these challenges of ours and kind of, use them as inspiration to reach out and try to inspire others is such a powerful thing. And so do you see yourself writing more about about your experience with mental health and stuff?
I definitely have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of sitting down and getting the words out.
Right.
And liking it. So
Right.
I kind of follow like a stream of consciousness type of writing and just like let it all out there. And if it's like, and then I decide, is this too personal to post or not? So I think I've struggled with utilizing my time. Working from home part-time has made it very easy to not use my time wisely, and not put my time into things that, it's a lot of naps, it's a lot of TV. I'm trying to get away from that, and that's one of the reasons why I started substituting. Is like, if I'm substituting on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, then I have 2 days to get my stuff done instead of 5. And so I will be utilizing my time better and kind of not get stuck in those, well, I'll just watch another episode rather than, start writing. So hopefully having a little bit more structure during my days will allow me to be more productive and feel more creative.
I love that.
And yeah, that kind of stuff. So
I love that. The structure is so key, so key. What I find too is waking up early in the morning is a game changer of like time management, right? I mean, have you found that to be true in your life about waking up early?
It definitely is, but I am definitely somebody who likes to sleep in. Yeah.
I got you. And then what about like in the morning planning your day out? Like, in terms of having, so you mentioned about having structure, right? Like, have you found like if you kind of create like a to-do list, maybe even at the start of each day, to be able to come up with at least 3 major things that will be your top priority for the day or something, just to have that type of focus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I do that. I bought a planner. I haven't written in a while because I couldn't remember if I even had one. But I have a planner. I will write things down. Sometimes I set alarms on my phone, like, you need to stop doing what you're doing now and move on to the next thing.
Yes.
I definitely have some strategies, and that's something that I work on with my therapist too. Is like using my time wisely, and because when you don't do anything, you don't feel good about yourself, and you don't feel good about your day. So
right. Progress promotes happiness, right?
Yes.
Progress promotes happiness.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that's good. There's something called Parkinson's law, where it's like, we will somehow subconsciously fill the time to complete a task, right? So meaning if we give ourselves 2 hours to do something, we will somehow usually fill those 2 hours. But if we chunk it down and say, okay, I'm only going to spend 30 minutes on this, it's like we become more productive when we set limits on our time for specific activities, right? Just something about it. It's that sense of urgency, right? To say, okay, I only have, this amount of time to get it done, even though we might have the whole day that we could use. But if we can mentally kind of, it's like a mental hack, right? To say that, okay, you know what? I want to get this thing done within an hour, and it's like that type of feeling, right?
If you give yourself a week to clean your room, it's going to take a week. But if you give yourself 25 minutes, it's going to take 25 minutes.
That's right. So yeah. That's awesome. So so talking about your plan for home ownership, buying, rental, because it might be a situation where you even buy a property and you don't even live on it. You just buy a property and you rent it out, and it's just a cash flowing type of deal for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, depending on your situation and everything, right? So that's awesome. But now let's talk about like this whole thing about like maximizing the income and the savings. Well, let's talk about maximizing the savings. think about budgeting, right? I mean, a lot of times, budgeting, it sounds kind of like, sounds like tedious. It sounds, but really, budgeting is just basically telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It's like
Right.
telling your money in advance before the month begins. You think in advance where your money will go instead of just going about, the month and seeing what happens, So on your piece of paper, I love to do this exercise where on the top of the piece of paper, like on like a line on the top, write down, like, I know your income fluctuates from month to month, but write down, what would you say, it's just an estimate, and you could just, you can round it, or you can round it up, round it down, whatever, but just a round number of like a typical total monthly income, would you say, and what would that number be for a month, so how much would that number be if you just round it off,
I'm totally like, this is a very, very rough estimate. I think it's usually between $2,000, $3,000 a month. So I'm going with 2,500.
Perfect. 2,500. So let's say 2,500. All right. 2,500. And let's say let's give every dollar a name. Every dollar a name. All right. So 2,500. Now tell me this, is that what are your feelings about like tithing or giving? Like giving a portion. Have you heard of a word called tithe?
Yes. I currently usually donate my time over
Okay.
money. I volunteer with my church and other things, just because I'm not in a situation
Right.
where I'm making enough to give away that much. If I see somebody who needs money, I'm happy to help them. But uh, I don't give to anything regularly,
I got
yet.
it. Okay.
I
Okay.
will, but I'm not in a
Okay.
space
So
where
it
I do.
sounds like sometimes when special needs come up, you give like on a case by case basis, kind of, but not like a routine type of thing. Is what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. Okay.
I feel more fulfilled when I'm actively like helping out and volunteering at, whether it's an event or like a church, or when people need volunteers. I feel more fulfilled by giving my time and energy than I would just, sending a direct deposit somewhere.
Right, exactly. I got you. All right, so with 25, but let for the sake of this activity, let's put down a number that could even be something where it's like, you are setting aside a portion of that 2,500 for those future situations where something pops up and you want to help someone in need, So what would that number be, would you say, that you would allocate towards like the future, giving fund? What would you say?
Um, I would say like maybe $15 or $20.
Okay.
Like
Perfect.
monthly, that adds up pretty quick.
Yes. Exactly. All right. So let's say $20. All right. So $20, and that's going to like a giving fund, right? Okay. Perfect. Now, what would be one bill is your cell phone bill, right? Now, are you paying your cell phone bill, or is it like a plan where it's like a family plan?
I'm on a family plan, yeah.
All right, so that's good. So you are saving money there, that. What about like gas expense? Are you paying like
So
gas?
I have a hybrid,
Okay.
and it kind of adjusts, or the amount of gas that I use changes as practice and games change, because most of my driving is to and from FedEx, and that's a lot. This month it's been about $30 a week.
Okay. So let's do 120 then. We'll say 120 gas. All right. So we got $2,500, income, say, just a round number, $2,500. We got $20 going to like a giving fund, $120 going to gas, right? What would be another bill? Is there any other bill that?
My car payment.
Oh, the car payment. Yes. Okay. So what's the car payment?
The minimum is $330.
Okay.
I've been putting 400
Okay, perfect.
because I can, because I don't have a lot of
Right.
bills right now.
Right. All right, perfect, perfect. All right. And then would that cover it? Like in terms of like, and then we're going to talk about like the miscellaneous stuff, right? But would that be the three, major things, I guess you could say? The giving, the gas, the car payment, anything else that you can think of?
Credit card bill, but that's kind of, I don't know if that goes as miscellaneous or
Right,
not.
right, right. So what type of things are you charging to your credit card?
Um, I don't shop a lot. Like
Okay.
I'm not like a spender. It would be eating out.
Okay. Right.
Starbucks. I guess Starbucks.
Right. Starbucks.
Um,
Okay. 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 So why don't we do that? And why don't we separate the Starbucks from the other type of eating out and grocery? So how much would you estimate that you spend on Starbucks?
let me just look.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think I usually go like once or twice a week, and it's maybe like it's either $7 to $12 when I go. I always go on game day. That's like my game day treat. And
Okay.
I use like the reload their credit card or their gift card on the app and just reload it. So I think this month, I think I'm at like maybe $30 for
Okay.
coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the whole month, the $30. Okay. So $30 for coffee.
Because I get rewards. I get rewards and then I get a free drink. So that's the extra. That's the other $10 is the free drink.
Right, right, right. I got you. Okay. So we're rounding to $30 on coffee. And then what about in terms of eating out, right? Like the other types of eating out, round figure per month, would you say?
Um, I would say we go out maybe once a week too. And I'm not always the one who pays because I'm out with my boyfriend. And so he will cover that for me sometimes. But I will also cover for him. So I would say it's like that's 24. And then like a $75 meal. Like about $100, maybe 120 a month.
Okay, we'll put 120. We'll put 120. 120 for eating out. All right, eating out. And then occasionally you are kind of maybe just buying things like okay, so maybe personal hygiene stuff, like what I'm saying. I mean, even toothpaste and
I get my nails done. Nails.
So we'll put personal care, personal care,
Yeah.
haircuts, even, right?
Yeah.
All that. So
That's every 4 months. I'm trying to stretch it out longer because it is very expensive.
okay. So let's try to figure out what that would be on a month.
If I split it into a month.
Split up into a month, yeah.
So it's $300 when I go, and that includes the tip.
Okay.
And I'm going like every 3 months, so it would be around $100. But I went in September. Yeah, it'll probably end up being 3 months again, so it's $100.
Okay, so you say $100, and that's just for the hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. The hair is 100, and then what about like other? You said the nails. Is that's significant, kind of? That's separate.
Yeah, I go every 3 weeks, which is harder to split up, but I would say probably around 75 a month.
Okay, so 75 for the nails, right? Okay, cool. Okay, and then what other stuff? I guess what the other personal care stuff would just be like small stuff here and there, would you say? Or
yeah,
out?
I usually get that when I go to the grocery store, and since I live at home, my parents still pay for my groceries.
Right. I got you. But you kind of like will pay certain things, I guess, when you're out, you might need something particular or whatever. Okay. So what would you say would be like an amount that we'll put in the miscellaneous personal care amount?
Are we including like maybe like clothing shopping?
Oh, no, you know what? Let's put that separate, the clothing.
Okay.
Yeah. So so let's talk about clothing. Yeah. What would you say the average? I know it's hard, right?
For clothing?
Yeah.
I spent about $60 this month, but I don't go clothes shopping every month. I still wear clothes from high school.
I got you. I got you.
I would say maybe $40 a month.
Okay.
If we're averaging it across several months, I would say probably 40.
Okay. So
And all of this is going on my credit card.
right. All right. So $40 clothes. Okay. And then what about the miscellaneous personal care stuff? Like, you're buying lotion or you're buying,
I go to Ulta. Okay. Yeah, like makeup and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see, what did I spend with that? I spent 30. I try not to go because that place is dangerous and I will spend all of my money.
Where?
Ulta. Ulta, it's a makeup store and they
Oh,
have like hair products and stuff. And I'm trying to take better care of my hair so that I don't have to go get it done as much as possible.
I see.
Um,
Hmm.
so I spent $30 last time. I would say probably 25. I don't go often and I try not to buy stuff that I don't need.
Okay, so that's 25 for hair products, so you could say, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, hair care, skincare, makeup, all that stuff is.
I see, makeup. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's that. And then on top of that though, there might be like some miscellaneous stuff. Would you say miscellaneous purchases on top of that?
Do you mean like
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 if you have to buy paper for your printer or something, you know what I'm saying?
um I don't generally have to buy those kinds of things because I'm still at my parents' house. And
Right,
so
okay.
when they need printer paper, they buy the printer
I got
paper.
you. Okay. So I guess that's not, so I guess that covers it then, huh? Would you say
Um,
giving, gas,
yeah.
car payment, coffee, eating out, like haircuts, nails, clothes, and then hair care, skin care, and makeup. With that, do you think we're missing anything?
I mean, I would say maybe like an entertainment. So
Entertainment.
like I'll buy a sports ticket, or I've done I have to I bought flights, Airbnbs, like I have a couple trips. It's not regular, but
Yes.
that's
Okay.
kind of what I do with my extra money. Not
Right.
really.
So
That is not going
entertainment
to
and
savings.
trips. All right, now I know it's not every month, right, that you're going someplace, but if you were to average it out, what do you think it would be on a monthly basis?
So I'm taking 2 trips in this whole year so far that are, well, did I do it earlier this year? I can't remember. I think I did. I would say it probably averages out across the year. It would probably be about $45.
Okay. All right, so 40.
I try to we travel cheap.
Okay.
No, we travel smart. We don't travel cheap. We travel smart.
You get good deals. Okay, I see. I see.
We stay at people's houses. So
Oh, I see. Right.
and the flight deals.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Awesome. And then on top of that, let's just say miscellaneous, just to cover anything that this did not cover. Let's just say $20 for miscellaneous,
Sure.
like something that, right? Does that sound? So do you think that kind of might cover everything?
Yeah, I think so. I'm really like this makes it sound like I'm a spender, but I'm really not. I'm not a
No,
spender.
no. Right. No. So let's do this. If we were to total this up real quick, let's see what number we get. Let's see. So, and of course, these are just round numbers, estimates. So $20 for giving, plus 120 for gas, plus 400 car payment, plus $30 for coffee, plus 120 for eating out, plus 100 for hair, plus 75 for nails, plus 40 for clothes, plus 25 for, hair care, skin care, and makeup, plus 45 for entertainment and trips, plus 20 for miscellaneous. And okay, so I have a number, but I want you to guess what that number is.
I may or may not have already calculated.
Oh, you might have already got. Okay, you might already. Okay.
It's a little over $1,000.
Okay, well, the number I get for these is actually close. Okay, you said a little bit over 1,000. Okay, yeah.
A little bit over, yeah.
You're right. So really, I get $9.95.
Well, I might have repeated one on accident when I did it because mine said 10:35. So I might have double calculated something. I got a little distracted.
Are you did you calculate it out? I mean, like, do you have it written out or something? Or no? Or you do? Yeah. Like right now?
Yeah, I've been writing it down.
Oh, you write. Oh, you added. Okay, wait. I want to check to make, because it might be me. So wait, do you have 20 plus 120?
20 plus 120 plus 400 plus 30 plus 120 plus 100 plus 75 plus 40 plus 25 plus 45 plus 20.
Yes.
Oh, wait, that came out to 885.
Wait a minute.
What is happening?
Something's happening. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, how about we do it one more time? Wait, first, okay, so I'm gonna read it off to you. Let me read it off to you. All right, 20 plus 120.
Yes.
Plus 400 plus 30 plus 120 plus 100 plus 75 plus 40 plus 25 plus 45 plus 20.
Yes.
And you don't get $9.95?
I think I skipped one because I said 885, so I might have been, hold on. 6.
All right, let's.
Okay, I got 1095.
1095.
It's been a different number every time. I don't know why this is so hard.
Okay, it might be that you're not clearing your calculator, and maybe.
Oh, my mental math was wrong.
Oh, you're not using a calculator. Oh.
I'm using a calculator, but like I kind of tried to make it easier by like doing small adding. So yeah, I did get 995. I did get 995.
You got 995. Okay. All right. Cool.
I said that 20 plus 120 plus 400 is 40, but it's fine.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, you got 995. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Now, here's the thing. Here's the question. Because I mean, really, so that 995. Okay, if you take the 2,500, minus the 995, right? So that would be 1,505, right? Is that right? 2,500 minus 995. I think that should be.
Yeah, 1,505.
Okay, 1,505. So here's the thing. I mean, and of course these are round numbers, but do you see how, like, when you really look at all this stuff, it's like, potentially it's 1,505 that you have left over, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't think about, we didn't calculate in to think about Roth IRA and regular IRA and everything. And so here's the part then. That 1,505, you call it 1,500. All right, call it 1,500. How would you want to divide up that 1,500, right? I'm thinking some of it should go into, and this is 1,500 a month, right? So I'm thinking some of it should go into a Roth IRA automatically. Some of it should go into regular, right? And stuff, right? And because just think about how, if you can stay consistent at the age of 22, if you can consistently invest, like, let's say $200 a month, right? Consistently, then it's like, by the time you're my age, by the time you're 42, I really believe that one account will be over $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's amazing how the time value, the power of compound interest. But as you said though, obviously though, your income, still not consistent, right? So you have to keep that in mind. Also, too, emergency fund. We need to talk about that. Emergency fund. How much of an emergency fund do you currently have? And of course, you don't need to have a large emergency fund because you don't have a lot of bills, right? But how much of an emergency fund do you currently have, would you say? How much, like how many months worth of emergency fund would you have?
So it's not necessarily like set aside as a emergency fund, but my like savings account is sitting around 5,000 right now.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Because that way, because if you think about it, if you're all these expenses is like $1,000, then that's like a 5 months emergency fund. You know what I'm saying? And everything.
Right.
So you are definitely not living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Right? You have an emergency fund, which is really key. So, okay. So tell me this: if we wanted to add to this, right? If you wanted to do an automated into your Roth IRA and regular mutual fund, what would be a number, you think would be reasonable?
So when I do it randomly,
right,
it's between, like, I usually do at least $500. Sometimes I do as much as like $1,200.
And is that every few months or so, or randomly every, or?
I haven't done as much lately because I wanted to build my savings account up a little bit more, and with the stock market being a little funky and the whole debt default stuff, I was like, I don't know if I want to put any more in right now. So now that we kind of know that's calmed down just a little bit, I'll probably make another deposit.
Okay.
I would say consistently, I'd probably be comfortable with like 350, just because my income does fluctuate, and then I could just, if I have more, I can manually put more in.
Right, exactly. So big thing, right? My recommendation would be to definitely automate at least a part of that, right? Because when you automate it, you don't have to be disciplined, right? When it's automated, you don't have to think about it. Because here's the thing: you're 22 now, but I tell you, time flies, right? And you want to, if you establish that, like goal, if you think of investing as though it's like your car payment where you have to make it, right? You're going to make it, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you're kind of like, you're just doing it manually, then a few months will go by, and then you're going to look up, and years would have gone by, and you would have missed out on a lot of the compound interest that you could have benefited from, right?
Right.
So that would be awesome if you could automate, like, even if it was like $100 that you could automate it, right? Even though your income is not consistent, but if you could automate maybe at least, or maybe at least 200 into like the Roth, and then 100 into the regular mutual fund, right?
Right.
It would be an amazing thing. Because here's the thing about the automation too: you can always stop it if you feel like your financial situation has changed, But by automating it, you just let it ride, and it automatically goes, So yeah, that's awesome. Awesome, Anna. Well, wow, this hour has just flown by. That's amazing. So so as we close, I want to ask you this for your feedback. Was there anything, be totally honest, right? Because, and I know that people are in different situations already. You were obviously, you were very financially responsible already. You already had great habits. Was there anything that you found to be very useful about this session today?
I had never really, and I know we used like estimates, but I had never really looked at how much I was spending and like what I never really did a budget. I never did a budget. So sitting down and kind of looking at, I like would mentally be like, okay, I need this much money for rent on this day. But I never really looked at, how much I was spending on other things. So it was kind of interesting to see, how much things can add up. And it makes sense that my credit card bill is $300-400 a month. So, and I feel like that's still a pretty healthy spot for me to be in. I don't want to get into credit card debt. I think that's one of the worst kinds of debts you can get into. So, yeah. Okay. I would love to learn more about real estate investing and like what's TikTok has a lot of people out there who are like, I've made this much money this month off of this property. And like, our Airbnbs are bringing in $40,000 a month. And I'm like, yeah, but how much are you spending? Like, I want to know more about like realistically how realistic is this as a passive income and how to really like get started. That's something. And then just like actually like going for it, pulling the trigger and doing it instead of just learning about it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Hannah. So, Hannah, will you commit to tracking your expenses starting tomorrow, tracking your expenses so that you can really see how valid these estimate budget numbers are, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like, you know, like for example, you know, we estimated that you're spending $120 a month on eating out, but you know, we really don't know for sure, you know, right? You know, and
Yeah.
so would you make the commitment to just tracking, keeping a track of everything you spend and putting it into different categories? Because it's amazing how when you track it, you become more aware, you know, and that
Yeah.
awareness helps you to control your money so much better, you know?
Yeah.
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 Cool. Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
all right. So a deal. We got a deal.
I'll do some homework. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. 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 All right. So you track that. That's excellent. Well, and then also what we'll do is, you know, love to have you on the show, and I'd love to get you back to do another episode, maybe in a couple of months, to have you come back and give us an update. And on the next show, the next time we bring you in, we can focus the show on creating a real estate investment plan for you. You know?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Excellent, Hannah. Well, thanks again for coming on the show, and I will see you soon. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Take care. All right.
You too. Thanks.
Yep.